Hello YouTube and welcome back to Kanto Weekly Show, and today's show we're going to cover week number 3 of Kanto. You guys have been smashing the support in the weekly shows for week 1, week 2. Hopefully we can smash that like button again today for week number 3. Now, today, we're going to begin with some trade announcements because this is the first week. Trades have been made, and those trades have been for the Black Sea Kurums have traded their Swampert out for Mega Sableye. Now, Swampert is a alright mon. Mega Sableye can be a pain in the backside to battle, but in this league, Toe Mega, so it's not as broken as it would be if it was Prankster. Then Prankster card mines and recovery and whatnot, and then Mega Evolve to get some magic bounce shenanigans off. But hey ho, still a good mon either way. And the other trade was Greenland Guzzlors, coached by Piplup, who swapped out Gardevoir for Espeon. Now, I do believe this is because what a Psychic type which actually get Omni boosting Z moves, like Espeon with Z Celebrate, and get some Battle Pass actions on his team. So that is, I do believe that's the main reason he drafted that mon. But hey ho, those are the trades for week number 3. Also, this week was unfortunately the first forfeit of Kanto PIDA division between the Peoria Pidgeots and the Ottawa Garchomps, and the Peoria Pidgeots got that forfeit win because Ottawa Garchomps weren't about. He tried messaging them all the weekend, all through the week, no response, no nothing. So the forfeit win was given to the Peoria Pidgeots. So they're still undefeated because they won their 2 games and got this forfeit win. So good news for them. Bad news for the Garchomps because I think they're still bottom of the table, getting relegated to Johto as things stand. So unless he gets, there's still possibility to get away from that bottom spot. But as it turns out, not looking like the best thing for him at the minute, being bottom of Division Kanto. But all those minds are out of the way, we can get back to the 7 games this week we have for you today. And the first game is between the Victoria Victinis, coached by Devil, versus the Calgary V-Creates, coached by Hacker. So, let's jump into this first game. As you can see, Devil has brought Rain plus Sand because he is Mr. Weather. He's got Pelipper, Exploud, Emboar, Hippowdon, Excadrill, and Kingdra. And the Calgary V-Creates are rocking Cocolucha, a load of Ninetales, Rhydon, Jirachi, and Toxapex. Now, Cocolucha can play against his team besides the Pelly, but besides that, it can just body the rest of his team. So if Hacker can get killed the rain aspect of Victini's team, he can put in the work with Lucha. He's brought his own weather to counter out his weather, so that's a good play by Hacker if he brought that for that reason. Obviously, Rhydon can put in the work against the Emboar and whatnot, either like Bulky Boy, Jirachi can put in the work. Not the best in this matchup because he's got Emboar, Hippowdon, and Excadrill, and Toxapex is just the wall, really much, isn't it? It's the wall. Doesn't have a lot of options unless he's rocking Wild Charge on that Emboar. Can't really see any can't see any super effective hits coming from the opposing Victini's team. Now, let's jump into this game and see how game number 1 is going to go down. So he leads with Coco, and there's the Emboar. Gets the Electric Seed boost, Calm Mind, Tapu Koko. So bulky Coco, bulky boy. So the Coco is just setting up against this Emboar because it can, reliving the Earthquakes with his defense boost. Gets the Roost off, so can easily just, keep, because Earthquake is doing 46%, it's healing Roost with 50%, so it's slowly getting its HP so it can live 2 Earthquakes and go for either another Calm Mind or another Thunderbolt at Dazzling Gleam or whatnot. So setting up to +3/+3, gets the Flare Blitz, lives on 4%. If he got the Clutch Burn there, it would have been a different story. But then Tapu Koko just resorts to going, Thunderbolt, goodbye, Emboar. Emboar's out of the question. Emboar is out of the question. Now, out comes the Hippowdon with the Sand. Tapu Koko goes for Roost as the Hippowdon goes for Stealth Rocks, HP Ice, I do believe. Has to be HP Ice, I would imagine. Was it HP Grass or HP Water? We don't know. Wherever it is, it's super faithful on the Hippowdon. It's a +3 hidden power. Hippowdon takes like a champ because Hippowdon is a bulky boy. And the Sand just, Earthquake, brings down 6%. And the Sand knocks out the Tapu Koko. So that setup on the Tapu Koko was it was good. If you didn't have, I wouldn't have set up ideally when you had a Hippowdon and an Excadrill in the back, unless he was confident that hidden power would kill, or he had options to kill it, because hidden power, obviously Hippowdon's a bulky boy, so maybe it would have OHKO'd the Excadrill but not the Hippowdon, so that's just me anyway. But then as soon as Holuch Koko dies, out comes the Ninetales to get rid of this Sand, and then lands the Blizzard, knocks out the Hippowdon, and there goes the Sand options for Devil's team. Out comes the Boombox. As you get that in Jirachi, goes for the Boom Burst. Solid, just walls this thing for days. Boom Burst, eat up for days. Out comes the Excadrill. As a Jirachi goes for Light Screen. Now, didn't see this coming at all, Light Screen Jirachi, but does put in the work against the team, obviously with the Kingdra, the Pelipper, the X-Cloud. Doesn't really help against the Excadrill right here, but it was a switch in. You never know. So he's obviously predicting the X-Cloud to go for a Fire Blast or a Flamethrower. No, it can live it with a Light Screen up, so that's probably the play he made there. Goes for the Earthquake. Down goes Jirachi. So unless if rocking dual screens, only one screen is up. Out comes the Rhydon. Out comes the Nigel as he goes for Rock Polish and Swords Dance. So he's double dance Rhydon. Now Pelipper in the rain, stab boosted Scold on a Rhydon with a Light Screen up. Light Screen does not matter because Scold just blows this Rhydon back. It legit does. So all that setup was for nothing because Pelipper, the god, Peligod, is here taking lives. Out comes the Boombox versus the Ninetales. Ninetales goes for Nasty Plot. So this Blizzard is doing a freaking... But did not realise that X-Cloud was that bulky, because +2 stab Blizzard from a Alola Ninetales should be OHKOing an X-Cloud. But it clearly doesn't, so it must be Assault Vested, it must be a bulky variant, who knows, but it managed to live a +2 Blizzard from a Ninetales, which is absolutely amazing. So down goes the... so they both died for Hail and Boom Burst and whatnot, so it's Toxapex versus Excadrill. Excadrill goes for the Swords Dance. She goes for the Skull, trying to do the burn. Gets the burn on the Excadrill. Sick burn there. No pun intended. But that was a sick burn because Excadrill's now rendered... It's not useless because it's got the Swords Dance up, but if he switches it out and switches it back in again, it is rendered useless and it gets the Swords Dance up again. And Skull did surprisingly a lot of damage coming from a Toxapex, doing 43% to an Excadrill, because from what I remember, I don't think Toxapex's special attack is that great, but I honestly don't remember because I have used it before. I can't remember when I used it before, but it did put in the work. It did, because I don't like bulky Mons. I don't like using bulky Mons, so I don't know the ins and outs of bulky Mons. If it's a super fast, hard hitting, either bulky bulky attacker, speedy attacker, whatever, glass cannon, they're my forte. Bulky, no idea. So that's just me. But anyway, gets the hail damage, gets the burn damage. Out comes the Hawlucha as he goes for the Z Tectonic Rage. So wasted Z move there by the Excadrill. It probably would have... I don't know how much it would have done to the Toxapex because it was +2 burn, stab, probably Earthquake. That may have killed the Excadrill. That may have killed the Toxapex if it wasn't burnt. It probably would have done about 70%, I would have imagined, to the Toxapex. So, was a good play, but good play by Hacker there predicting... Unless he predict that, I don't know. High jump kick kills the Excadrill there. Out comes Nigel. Nigel can just, Hurricane for days. Does solid 33% to the Toxapex. Gets another 31%. Goes for the recover, so we have the stall confessions right now. So Hurricane, Scold, does nothing to Pelipper. Hurricane again, recover. Hurricane gets the confusion, but lands the recover anyway. Hurricane goes out into Hawlucha. Goes for the Hurricane. Down goes the Hawlucha. And it's just, you know, Toxic versus Pelipper. Out comes Kingdra. The Toxic Spikes. Out comes Nigel again to reset the brain. Recovers. Toxic Spikes are back up to full health. Default. Get rid of those Toxic Spikes. Skull does nothing. And this is pretty much GG to the Victoria Victinis here, because the combination of Peligod and Kingdra can just, you know, Toxic Spikes can't wall them both for the rest of the game. So just goes for Roost. Skull. Stall damage. Rain's gone. And Hacker leaves the game because he knows that he can't win, because Pelipper can just outstall it. Because Hurricane's doing a lot of damage. Skull's doing nothing to it. And Roost/Recover. Pelipper won that one-on-one every day of the week. So GG to Victoria Victinis there, who I now believe are up to 2-1 so far. And Hacker is still, I do believe at this stage, Norton 3. So Hacker's still looking for their first win, I do believe. And the Victoria Victinis are now mid-table, because they're 2-1. I think they're 2-1-0, as you can see here on the lovely chat. 2-1-0. So he's near the top half of the table, but not pushing for those playoff space as of yet. Now, standout points from that game, I've written in my handy dandy note sheet, are Pelipper was the skull to stop that Exegil from sweeping the team, because if it was a +2, without the burn, that would have been absolutely monstrous for the Victoria Victinis there, and probably would have won the game by a high differential. Was he late game sweep as well, because killing the Holucha and the Toxapex. Hippowdon was the boy, lived the +3 Hayden Power Ice, probably. I'm guessing it's HP Ice. Or is it HP? I don't know what it was. Probably HP Grass, because he had the Kingdra, the Excadrill, the Hippowdon, and whatnot. Probably HP Grass. Lives a +3 Stab from a Tapu Koko. Madness. Excadrill, obviously the Swords Dance. Z-Ground. Failed because of the Holucha switch into that from the Calgary V creates. First turn Tapu Koko set was very interesting set, to say the least, with Electric Seed, Calm Mind boosted to do the most against this team. Obviously didn't work because Hippowdon's a bulky boy, but it was a good set none the least. Alone Ninetales got the Blizzard Revenge on that Hippowdon, got the +2 nasty plot off. Surprised it wasn't a Aurora Veil, because if it was a Aurora Veil, may have pushed the game in his favour. I don't know, but Aurora Veil's just god tier move. Anyway, obviously Rhydon was Rock Polish, Swords Dance, even behind that light screen, that Pelipper just blown it back. So MVP in this game was definitely Pelipper. Obviously Jirachi with screens to put that light screen up. Still wondering if it was dual screens or just light screen, but you know. And then obviously the Toxapex got the Skull Burn on the Pelipper and the Excadrill, putting in the work for the Calgary creates there. And yeah, that's our first game over and done with. So we now move on to our next game, which involves the Greenland Guzzlords and the Black Sea Curums. The two teams that made trades this week, and to my knowledge, only the Greenland Guzzlords have brought their new team to this week's game, because Espeon is right there. As you can see, Greenland Guzzlords, I've written these teams the wrong way around, because the Black Sea Curums, I've written Greenland Guzzlords here. I've done the wrong way around, but it's fine. But the Black Sea Curums are rocking Gliscor, Mega Medicham, Steelix, Clefable, Xurkitree, and Curum Black. And the Greenland Guzzlords are rocking Nidoqueen, Magneton, Magearna, Golisopod, Espeon, and Terrakion. So, judging by the matchups, Curum Black can put in the work against this team, like, very, very well, besides the Terrakion. But Terrakion, Curum Black is super weak to... Curum Black can't really deal with Terrakion that well. Magearna as well, but it does get Earth Power, but if it's a bulky Magearna, can deal with that. Same with Magneton. Xurkitree can put in the work if that Nidoqueen and that Magneton are both gone. Clefable, I mean, there's two steel types there, so Clefable's not doing that well. Steelix, besides the Terrakion and the Golisopod and the Nidoqueen, can put in the work. Mega Medicham, this team looks very Mega Medicham weak, besides the Espeon and the Golisopod. And Gliscor obviously can be Stally boy. Put in the most work. Before I forget, Zombie, coach of the Black City Curums, do upload their PIDA games, so I'll leave a link to that in the description down below to see his versions of his games. I think he's, as of recording this, he's uploaded week 1 and week 2. I don't think week 3 is up yet, but I don't think this game is up yet, so just be subscribed to him if you want to check that out when he eventually uploads that video. Now, let's jump into this game and see how the teams are going to be rocking out this week. Out comes the Gliscor versus the Gliscor. Gliscor goes for substitute, as the Gliscor goes for spikes. Goes for the double team, so double team strats is PIDA, it's got to be double team. Lands his liquidation, gets the poison heal up. Goes for the substitute again, waiting for the Gliscor to miss his liquidation so he can get that sub off with his Gliscor, because with the toxic orb damage is not exactly losing that much health, like 12% each turn. Gliscor reveals the ban pass and goes out into his Q and black. And then this is the turn that Gliscor misses his liquidation, which is very, very crucial. Fusion Bolt takes the Gliscor down to its emerging exit, switches out straight into Magina, and this is where Q and black revolves the Earth Power. Does just under half to the Magina, and Flash Cannon does loads of damage to that Q and black. Goes for the Earth Power anyway, risking the miss. He would definitely risk the miss there. I'm going to pause it right now because he risks the miss. Because if that Earth Power was not going to kill that Magina, because it was roll, unless it was a roll, I don't think it was going to kill that turn. And if that Magina landed its Flash Cannon or any other move against this Kyurem, this Kyurem would have been gone. It would have been hands down gone. So yeah, that was a very risky play by Zombie. It did pay off. Not going to take that away from him, but it was a very risky play. And the Gliscor misses the first impression, which would have killed the Q and Black because it's not resisted. As the Q and Black goes for Roost, Q and Black's just set up again. No need to worry. Fusion Bolt takes out this Gliscor, and yeah, down goes the Gliscor. Out comes the Terrakion as the Q and Black Sea Curums. I'm just getting my words mixed up right now. But Gliscor is here. Out comes Terrakion. Here comes Espeon. Gliscor sets up his double teams again. Gets that poison heal damage off. Both double teams from both sides of the field as the Gliscor goes for ban pass and to his Steelix. Espeon then goes for the... There it is. The Z Celebrate from the Espeon. Z Celebrate comes off. As good. This was a very... I don't know if he knew that was going to happen or it was just lucky because he had the evasion boost. But the Steelix goes for Raw, cancelling out the entire point of Espeon doing Z Celebrate. So that was a good play by Zombie there. I don't know if it was meant for the Z Celebrate or just for the evasion, but it paid off nonetheless. So yeah, that Z Celebrate was very much wasted by the Greenland Guzzlers there. So Lady Gaga goes for the Earth Power, brings the Rolex down to its Sturdy as it goes for the Earthquake. And then out comes the Ice Beam from the Nidoqueen, just in case he was going to go out into his Gliscor, protecting the Earth Power. Goes for the Ice Beam, knocks out the Steelix every day of the week. Then out comes the Mega Medicham, gets hurt by spikes, but can just go out into his Espeon, trying to live the Zen Headbutt, but does just over half. So, and I do believe Mega Medicham outspeeds an Espeon. It doesn't. That was my mistake. But the Espeon goes for double team. Mega Medicham lands its Zen Headbutt anyway. Down goes the Espeon. Out comes the Bully. Goes for close combat. And does not a lot to Mega Medicham. And, you know, gets the defense drop. Drain punches Okos' Terrakion. Out comes the Magneton. Goes for the Volt Switch, which does just over half to this Mega Medicham. So he goes out into his Lady Gaga to take this thing off. Drain Punch. He's going to go, which gets him healed. Goes back out to his Magneton to try and finish this thing off. Goes for the Thunderbolt. Lives on 6%. And there goes the Drain Punch. I don't know if he was... If he was sturdy, he must have been analytic or magnet pull, because if he was sturdy, could have changed the game, because if it was sturdy, it could have killed the Medicham next turn with the Thunderbolt, and then could have put in some work late game because it outsped something. I don't know, but hey ho, that's just my opinion. Anyway, so it comes down to Magina versus the Mega Medicham. Goes for the Drain Punch, goes for the Shift Gear on this Magina, then goes for the Dazzling Gleam to knock out this Mega Medicham. Gets the Soul Heart booster, so +2 speed, +1 attack, +1 special attack. Out comes the Zerkic tree, goes for Dazzling Gleam, thinking it outspeed, it doesn't. Then Beginner gains another kill. Out comes the Treble Clef, which I think he should have went out to in the first place, because if it was Unburden boosted, not Unburden, Unaware, Flash Cannon would have not killed because it wouldn't have been the +2 boost. Then Flamethrower would easily killed. So I think if Zombie did that play, he would have won the game 4-0 rather than 3-0. But hey ho, that's just my opinions. Talking points about the game was the Glide score, sub, double team, ban pass did put in work for Zombie, for the Black Sea Curums there, because they helped with the +1 evasion boost on the Curum Black, which helped deal with the Galissapod threat. Mega Medicham put in the work, because Zen Headbutt even resisted hit to an Espeon, 2-code the Espeon, so put in the magic of work. Steelix was roaring for days, shutting down the Green and Gold Lord's Espeon Z Celebrate set, so that was rendered useless. Clefable, late game, put in the work, Unaware, stopped the Galissapod, not the Galissapod, the Magina set up, lived the Flash Cannon, O-code with a Flamethrower, and obviously the Curum Black did put in the work for the Black Sea Curums that game, dealing with the Galissapod mainly, and yeah, so MVP for the man of the match for that game was definitely the Mega Medicham. Magina late game could have paid off if the Clefable was not Unaware, because it would have outsped the Curum Black and killed Dazzling Gleam. Glide score, I think, was at like half health, was it not? I think a Dazzling Gleam slash Flash Cannon would have killed that Glide score as well. So Clefable definitely saved the Black Sea Curums that game, because Magina could have probably swept. Galissapod was, that first impression miss was very, very, very crucial, because if that Curum Black was down, the game could have turned on its head. It really could have done. And obviously the double team Espeon Z Celebrate drafted it for that specific reason and didn't work because of Steelix. So maybe next week the Green and Gold Lord could get that Z Celebrate set off, and the Galactic Curums are still on an unbeaten run with 3 wins. That's now, 2 coaches now unbeaten? I think at this stage, yeah, the Pure Pidgeots and the Black Sea Curums are both unbeaten so far in Division Kanto. Now, we move on to our 4th game of Division Kanto between the New England Blizzards versus the Sugar Puff City Swirlixers. And the New England Blizzards are rocking Scizor, Victini, Mega Diancie, Quagsire, Chansey and Serena, whereas the Sugar Puff City Swirlixers are rocking Mega Venusaur, Salamence, Mienshao, Greninja, Rabombi, and Druddigon. So Mega Venusaur can put in the work against this team, minus the Scizor, and the Victini, to be honest, because Victini, obviously, Thick Fat is resisted by makes the fire type stab not as good, but the psychic typing is good because, no, actually, it's psychic and flying, the only thing Mega Venusaur is, because Bug resists, so Bug is neutral, but it's still a Scizor, and it's Technician boosted and whatnot. Still going to do a butt ton to Mega Venusaur. Obviously, Salamence can put in the work against the team. Not really. Just kidding, because you've got a Scizor and a Mega Diancie, both resisted by its Dragon Stabs and its Flying Stab, so here's to its own. Greninja, it's obviously Protein Greninja, can put in the work against his team, depending on what set he's running. Sticky Webs on Rabombi can come in clutch as well, especially if that Victini is Z Celebrate, which the New England Blizzards have brought to, I think, every game so far. He's brought Z Celebrate, so that's a thing to worry about. Druddigon, I don't really know much about Druddigon to comment. And obviously, Mienshao can put in the work because we have it in UCC. That's a plug to UCC. And yeah, it's been putting in the work over there. So, and obviously the Sugar Puff Sweets. No, not the Sugar Puff. The New England Blizzards obviously got his Z Celebrate Victini. He's got Chansey, which can be bulky boy. Scizor can be a bulky boy. can be a physical threat. Mega Diancie. If it was regular Diancie, it'd be a bulky gal, but it's not. It's a Mega, so can hit like a freaking truck with Moonblast, Diamond Storms, and whatnot. Quagsire pairs well with Chansey to being the bulky core of this team, and obviously Serena is there for maybe Rapid Spin if Sizzle doesn't have Defog. Can be kind of bulky, more grass type action from that Serena. I don't know what the Serena's going to do because we have it as well in Johto. Check out those videos. Me playing in Johto. The dreams of playing in Kanto. The dreams! But anyway, let's get this fourth game up and running, shall we? So, leads of Sizzle, Mandibuzz, Rabombi. Sizzle goes for turn 1 Sword Dance because predicting the webs probably from the Rabombi. Webs or switch out because Bullet Punch would have blown that Rabombi away. So predicted the switch out, goes for the Sword Dance, and he switches out to the Druddigon, goes for the Bug Bite, Oko's Druddigon. Wasn't a turn 1 Oko like I like, it's a turn 2 Oko. But Druddigon just drops like that. Druddigon just drops. So to this day, I don't know what a Druddigon does because obviously didn't live long enough to show me what it can do. But hey ho, +2 Bug Bite blows his pumpkin away, but with Life Orb damage, Rocky Helmet damage, Rough Skin damage, this Sizzle has been whittled down. Out comes the Greninja, goes for the Surf. It lives on 3%. I don't know if that was a roll, but didn't change typing, so this is definitely an Ash Greninja. Possibly. I can't even remember. I don't remember. Was the Scurf Nape? It is an Ash Greninja. Okay then. Cool. That was not written down. So maybe the tears. I don't know. Tears are wrong again, probably. My bad. But hey ho, we'll see. But if it did on, it doesn't matter. It's not important. But what is important is this Sizzle lived on 3%. If it was a roll, that's very unfortunate for the Sugarpuff City Swirlixes because this Sizzle would have been down. This Greninja would still be alive at full health, but sadly it's not. So it does die, however, to the Life Orb damage, so dies in either way. But the Sizzle's gone, but at the I can't even, what's the word? At the sacrifice, that's the word, sacrifice of Greninja and Druddigon. So it's an uphill battle now for the Sugarpuff City Swirlixes because Greninja would have put in the most finest of work against his team, especially if it got that beast. It got the beast boost, the battle bond boost from killing that Sizzle. So out comes Mienshao versus Victini. Mienshao obviously not choice scarf because it outspeeds naturally. But goes for the U-turn out on the Victini, out into the Salamence. As the New England Blizzards go for its bog standard set on his Victini, Z Celebrate. Gets that +1 on every stat on his Victini versus his Salamence. As the Victini goes for Dazzling Gleam, the Salamence lives. So it must be a bulky Salamence to live a +1 Dazzling Gleam from Victini. So and then the Salamence is not playing any games, going for Z Devastating Drake. I don't know if that was Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor or whatever, but if it was Dragon Pulse and it would have killed if it was Draco. It really would have done. So the Victini lives and then goes for Dazzling again. Down goes the Salamence. So now very much an uphill battle for the Sugarpuff City Swirlixes at this stage, going 3-5 down. But Victini is still here at +1/+1/+1/+1. Goes for the knockoff. So this me thinking that Mienshao is scarfed to outspeed +1 Victini, which is a good bring by the Sugarpuff City Swirlixes there to revenge kill that Victini with the knockoff. Out comes the Mega Diancie, switches out into his Mega Venusaur, goes for the Diamond Storm, which does 64% to a Venusaur. So, yeah, that did a lot of damage. Mega Revolves, outspeed, go for Diamond Storm, Oko's his Mega Venusaur, Gets a +2 defense boost. Goes out into his Rabombi. Goes for Energy Ball. I don't know if maybe, I don't know if that was a play. It probably would have been, because I don't know, because obviously it was a special attacker, wouldn't affect by the special defense move. That's probably his best option to hit this Mega Diancie thing between this and Mian Xiao. But obviously, Diamond Storm blows back this Rabombi every day of the week, and the Mega Diancie gets another defensive boost. Out comes the Mian Xiao as the Mega Diancie go to protect, predicting the high jump kick from the Mian Xiao, because Mian Xiao high jump kick is the best way. Because obviously this thing is choice scarf, so high jump kick would be the best play to OHKO the rest of his team. But to go to protect to get this Mian Xiao down to 50%, so it can kill this Mega Diancie, won't kill this Quagsire, goes for the Earthquake. Probably would have lived that if it was at full health, so that protect play from the Mega Diancie was very, very, very good bring by the New England Blizzards there. And GG to New England Blizzards, who won that game 3-0 and are moving up the table, I do believe. But the Sugar Poop Swirlixes are falling down with that 3-0 loss. But standout sets for this game. Moment, shall I say. Scizor, Swords Dance, Bug Bite, Life Orb, Feint. Swords Dance put in the work against the Greninja versus the Druddigon. Druddigon, OHKO, Rocky Helmet, Ruskin, Life Orb. Chipped that way, that Scizor. Surf lived just barely on 3%. Dice Life Orb anyway, so Scizor did put in the work in this week. Victini, Z Celebrate was very, very crucial because it made it be able to live the Z Draco, Z Dragon Pulse, whatever Z Dragon move it was, to live that Z Dragon. And OHKO with double Dazzling Gleam. Mega Diancie late game did put in work with Diamond Storm. Diamond Storm killing the Mega Venusaur and the Rabombi, living the Energy Ball from the Rabombi, having to protect to whittle down that Mian Xiao so Quagsire could come in and kill with an Earthquake. Good play there by the New England Blizzards. And then Chansey and Serena don't believe, touch the field. So the New England Blizzards won that game by only using 4 Pokemon, so that was GG to him. Sugarloaf City Swirlixes, the Salamence obviously had the Z Dragon, lived a +1 +1 Dazzling Gleam from Victini, so it must have been a bulky Salamence set. Mian Xiao got a revenge kill on that Victini after killing the Salamence, and obviously high jump kick would have put in the work, would probably have won the game if it wasn't for that protect on that Mega Diancie. And then Druddigon was OHKO'd, so was Greninja, and so was Rabombi, but Rabombi did whittle down that Mega Diancie, so if that was the case, he would have lost by more, I would imagine, because Mega Diancie would have been alive. But hey-ho, that is our 4th game this week, New England Blizzards and the Sugar Puff City Swirlixes. Now we move on to game number 5, which entails the Sydney Shamans versus the Dallas Cobalions. And the Sydney Shamans are rocking Zygarde, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Slurpuff, Infernape, and Tapu Lele, whereas the Dallas Cobalions are rocking Mega Aggron, Venomoth, Azumarill, Garchomp, Blacephalon, and Porygon Z. Now, standing out point for this is that the Sydney Shamans have dual options in Z Celebrate in Vaporeon and Jolteon, so that's an issue that the Dallas Cobalions need to worry out for. Also, he's got Tapu Lele, which can put in the work against this team, minus the Aggron and the Blacephalon. Slurpuff gets access to Drain Punch at +4, can put in the work. I know that Slurpuff can put in the work against this team. Not this team specifically, but I know +4 Belly Drum Slurpuff is a threat to any team that doesn't have a bulky boy who is this fairy, which this team does with Mega Aggron, but a Drain Punch is still doing a lot to a Mega Aggron at +4. Probably like 50, 60, probably percent. Probably more than that. Who knows? You've got Zygarde as well as quite scary, so it's Infernape. Whereas the Dallas Cobalions have, obviously, Porygon Z conversion, can put in the work. Blacephalon's my boy. Choice Scarf Blacephalon can put in the work if need be. Double Belly Drum. We've got Slurpuff Belly Drum versus Azumarill Belly Drum. We have Garchomp, which could be Scarf, could be Swords Dance, could be Dragon Dance, whatever. Venomoth, Quiver Dance, I think it gets Baton Pass as well. So Quiver, Baton Pass, solid set. Obviously Mega Aggron is the wall. Besides the Ziggurat and possibly a setup Slurpuff. So I got Aggron, maybe Infernape as well. Aggron can just wall this team. So let's jump into this game and see how it pans out, shall we? So Blacephalon lead versus the Infernape. Blacephalon switch out straight into Garchomp as Infernape goes for the EQ. Goes straight out into his Vaporeon. As Garchomp goes for Earthquake in return, does 41%. Garchomp goes for the Swords Dance, predicting the sub or the wish from the Vaporeon. Vaporeon goes for sub. Dragon Claw breaks that sub. Vaporeon Baton out into his Tapu Lele. As the Garchomp switches out, goes for a Psychic, predicting a Dazzling Gleam there, most probably. Probably predicting a Dazzling Gleam from that Tapu Lele, switches out into his Mega Aggron, which wasn't Mega at that point, just a regular Aggron. So they thought, hey, I resist Fairy, let's go into Aggron. But the Sydney Shamans predict that and go for the Psychic, does a solid 53% to this Aggron. Then he switches out into his Vaporeon as his Aggron Mega Evolves and goes for Rest. At this stage, I was thinking, very interesting set. Don't know what you've got planned here. Are you Sleep Talk? I don't think you have any Aromatherapy / Heal Bell options on your team. Unless Venomoth gets Heal Bell or something. I don't know. But if you had that support, that would have been good. But sadly, I didn't know at this point, so he switches out into his Venomoth as the Vaporeon goes for Substitute. And the Venomoth goes for Bug Buzz to kill that Vaporeon through the sub, so it doesn't get the chance to Baton Pass it away or whatnot, and the Vaporeon lives. So Vaporeon is now out of the question, so that's a decent Wish supporter. Possibly it wasn't his Z Mon because it had lefties, but yeah. Venomoth gets that kill. Out comes the Jolteon as it goes for Agility. As Venomoth goes for Quiver. Jolteon goes for Agility again. Then the Venomoth goes for the Sleep Powder, putting this Jolteon to sleep, giving it a plus 4 speed. This Jolteon is outspeeding everything on this team right now. It probably would have done anyway, being a speaky boy. Obviously going to be a Baton Pass set. So as the Jolteon is sleeping, the Venomoth keeps going for Quivers. As the Jolteon keeps going for Agilities, the Jolteon is sashed, so this Bug Buzz, the Jolteon lives on the +1 sash. Knowing it's at sash, goes for the Baton Pass to go straight into his Tapu Lele, who's at now max speed. As the Venomoth goes for Sleep Powder this turn, predicting that switch out, lands the Sleep Powder on this Tapu Lele, and Venomoth just OHKOs his Tapu Lele with a Bug Buzz. So goodbye, that sab was for absolutely nothing. So this Venomoth is now a problem because it's +2/+2/+2. Out comes the Infernape, goes for the Bug Buzz. Resisted hit still does 77% to this Infernape. Madness. All the damage. Goes for the Flare Blitz. Goodbye Venomoth. And I think for that, you died to recoil. Yep, Infernape dies to recoil. So Infernape was used to nuke itself against that Venomoth to prevent it from sweeping the rest of the Sydney Shaman's team. Out comes that Slurpuff versus the Porygon Z, as the Porygon Z goes for Z conversion. Doesn't change typing, just goes to normal type. Goes for the Belly Drum. Goes to Max Attack. Max Attack Citrus, Unburdened boosted Slurpuff with a Belly Drum. Then just goes for the Drain Punch and just, OHKOs a +1 every stat Porygon Z. I don't know if it was about a difference actually, but if he changed into a type which resisted, if he could have changed into a ghost type maybe? I don't know if Blayrough killed. Honestly don't. But if he converted into a ghost type, and then then he wouldn't have got his health back from the Drain Punch. He would have been on low health, or 75% off anyway. Could have went out into another mon and killed it, but no, it's at full health now. So maybe that could have been a play. I don't know if that would have play rough probably would have killed. He just wanted his health back. So out comes his Mega Aggron, who is asleep, and this shows how bulky Mega Aggron is, because this is a +4. This is a max attack Slurpuff with Drain Punch, and it does 52% to a Mega Aggron, where it did 100% to a +1 Porygon Z. So then the Mega Aggron reveals the Sleep Talk and goes for Curse. Now, this is now a scary boy, because Curse Mega Aggron can put in the finest of work against the rest of this team. So, especially if it's a rest set. So, this next Drain Punch doesn't kill. And now, he's praying that this next Sleep Talk can get him his attacking move, which was revealed to be Heavy Slam. And it would have killed this Slurpuff, and he would have probably won the game. But the Sleep Talk gives him rest, which is very unfortunate, because that would have been stellar if he did get the Heavy Slam, would have killed this Slurpuff. Then probably the Zygarde would have come in and killed this Aggron or the Jolteon, and then obviously the Chomp or the Azumarill, depending on which one he sent in, could have swept the rest of his team. The Slurpuff goes for Drain Punch, down goes the Mega Aggron, out comes Percephalon, play rough, bop, goodbye Percephalon, left is not bulkiest, out comes Garchomp, bop, goodbye Garchomp, versus the, and then out comes Azumarill, protect for the Azumarill, because, you know, stall out a turn, and then play rough, bop, down goes the Azumarill, and that is the MVP for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Slurpuff, 5 kills, 5-0. Slurpuff is gaining for that promotion to tier 1? Is it going up a division, up a tier? I can't remember what tier Slurpuff's in. I can't remember what tier Slurpuff is in, but the potential, the Sydney Shamans had options for setup. They had obviously sub Baton Pass on his Vaporeon. He had agility Baton Pass on his Jolteon. I would imagine that or Vaporeon would have had Z Celebrate to get that boost onto likes of his Tapu Lele or his Infernape or his Zygarde, or his this thing would have been absolutely scary. Yeah, Jolteon was Sash Agility, Vaporeon was sub Baton Pass, Jolteon was also Baton Pass, so double Baton Pass. Baton Pass is a very, very most used tactic in PIDA this season anyway. Then obviously Belly Drum Sweep with Drain Punch, Play Rough, just sweeping the rest of the team. Don't know what his last move was. Probably would have been, I don't know, Protect? I don't know what his last move was, but we'll never know. And obviously the Infernape killed that Scizor, which could have potentially, not the Scizor. Oh, the Revenge Kill. Oh, it did the Revenge Kill against the Venomoth for Flare Blitz to live the Bug Buzz. Revenge Kill that Venomoth, which could have potentially swept this team. Possibly. I don't know. But would have definitely have put in some work against the Sydney Shamans. And obviously the Mega Aggron would rest Sleep Talk, Curse, Heavy Slam. If that second Sleep Talk was a Heavy Slam, this game would have changed, and probably the Dallas Cabans would have won the game. But unfortunately, it didn't. It could have picked up rest, so very unfortunate. But that's the roll of the dice when you play with Curse Sleep Talk. Curse Sleep Talk, Rest Sleep Talk sets. Obviously, Venomoth did put in the work. Killed the Venomoth with Bug Buzz through the sub, so the sub couldn't be Baton Passes out, or the Vaporeon would still be alive. Obviously, Quiver Dance, Sleep Powder, put in the work. Garchomp with Swords Dance. Didn't make a difference because didn't get any kills, but just died to the Slurpuff at the end. And Porygon Z was Z conversion. If he converted into a ghost type, he could have possibly done something. I don't know. Or a type which, I don't know what type which resists fairy and fighting. I don't think there is one. So maybe went to a type which was neutral against him. He might have lived that Drain Punch. He may have done. Who knows? But this stuff happens. So both those GG to City Shamans, who are now got them clutch 3 points this week. Unfortunate for Dad's companions who didn't. But now we move on to game number 6, which is the Wellington Ho-Oh versus the New Haven Nut. And the Wellington Ho-Ohs are rocking Megazard X, Whimsicott, Tyranitar, Rotom-Wash, Necrozma, and my boy Ambipom. And the New Haven Nut are rocking Dojo, Latias, Gyarados, Flygon, the Scrub, Vikavolt, and Latios. Latias. Both the Latis. And just judging by matchups, obviously, the New Haven Nut are a meme team with Mono, Levitate / Flying type, whereas the Wellington Ho-Oh are rocking Tyranitar for both the Latis. He's got Charizard for the likes of the Vikavolt. He's got Rotom for the likes of the Gyarados and the Dojo, and the rest of the mons can just help out when they need to. So, will be a downhill battle for the New Haven Nut, obviously, because it's a meme team. So, New Haven Nut needs to go all out each week to pick up those W's. So, let's jump into this game and see how this game is going to rock out with. So, out comes Glovey Glove versus the Vikavolt. U-turns out straight into his Tyranitar as goes for the Bug Buzz. Eats up the Bug Buzz for days with that sand boosted Tyranitar. Out comes the Flygon. As the Tyranitar misses the Stone Edge, which was very, very crucial there. Out comes the Rotom as the Scrub goes for Dragon Dance versus this Rotom. Goes for Dragon Dance again, but this Rotom pulls out that Will-O-Wisp, pulls it out, burns his Flygon, rendering it useless. It was useless in the first place, so it doesn't really matter. Dragon Dance again to +3. It's burnt. HP Ice, that Yachi Berry. That Yachi Berry goes down to just under half. Goes for the Outrage. That was a crit and did 80% to a Rotom Wash. This is why Flygon is a scrub and doesn't deserve to be in the Pokedex. But out comes this Latios to get the revenge kill on the Rotom with Energy Ball. Out comes the Tyranitar, who's going to just Energy Balls again, which does absolutely 0. This thing did 0 to this Tyranitar. And word on the grapevine is this Tyranitar set was Assault Vest. So bulkier Tyranitar with stand booster with Assault Vest lives any special hit you want to throw at it. So I've got Tyranitar, so I might steal that set. But that's not the point. So yeah, Crunch does a solid 82% to this Latios. So can put in the work because obviously it could just eat these energy balls up for days, doing max 18%. Does get the special defense drop, however, but goes for Pursuit, predicting the Latias to switch out. It doesn't, just stacks it off. Out comes the Dojo, who goes for Thrash, which does a solid 17% to this Whimsicott. As the Whimsicott goes for Tailwind to sack it off versus the Dojo from the Thrash. Then he sends out his Necrozma, who can just eat up hits from this thing for days, as it goes for the Iron Defense to bolster its defense, as this Dojo just stays in, hitting itself because it's a confused burb. Goes for Thrash again. Doesn't do that much to this gym. Goes for Iron Defense again. So this Necrozma is becoming a problem because this Dojo is locked in thrashing. Gets to max defense. This Thrash is now doing absolutely 0. Does 12% in this Necrozma. Gets confused. Starts going for Calm Mind. Now, this just shout outs to me. This is a stored power set. So he's setting up his Necrozma, setting it up. New Haven Nut still staying with its Dojo, just clicking, spamming Thrash, doing absolutely nothing to this thing, as his Necrozma just sets up and 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 sets up. Goes for the Thrash again, trying to whittle it down, waiting for a crit possibly. Calm Minding up again, just setting up for days. This Necrozma is now becoming a massive, massive threat to this team. So it's all the way up, +4. Thrash is out, does 12%. Goes for the Moonlight. Goes for Thrash again, and just goes for stored power, and goodbye Dojo. Gets the leftovers damage. He's at +4 max both defenses. Then here comes the clutch play. The Supersonic Strike, lands a crit. Necrozma, all that set was for nothing. Down goes the Necrozma to a crit, but Ambipom comes in, gets a revenge kill, and kills with the Thunder Punch. U-turns out on this Latias, puts in the final work, because Ampom is the second best one in the game. So U-turns out into Tyranitar against this Latias, who has a sub up, but then just switches out straight into his Vikavolt, gets the crunch damage, does a solid 38%, and Tyranitar just sweeps late game because it outspeeds this thing, or it doesn't. It just goes for recover and goes for the crunch, and goodbye Latias, and that's GG to the Wellington Ho-Oh. Now, very, very interesting game to say the least, because obviously the Tyranitar was late game sweeper, MVP. Assault Vest, we know now, has Pursuit, Crunch, Stone Edge. Did it have Rocks? I think it had Rocks. It probably didn't have Rocks, but it might have red Rocks. Assault Vest walled the Latties and the Vikavolt for days, because obviously boosted by the Sand, boosted by the Assault Vest, probably a HP attack variant of a Tyranitar, so lived pretty much most special hits, so all of those mons. Ambipom was a revenge killer, because obviously the Gyarados got the crit Z move on the Necrozma to knock it out. Out comes Ambipom, outspeeds it, goes for the Thunder Punch, knocks out that Gyarados for days. Obviously the Necrozma set could have made the differential slightly different, because it was +4 special attack, +4 special defense, +4 defense, stored power, didn't have a dark type, boosh, 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 everything dies, every mother trucker dies. So Necrozma just was rendered useless because of that crit. Obviously the Rotom Wash just walled a Flygon, because Flygon's the worst one in the game, has a Yachi Berry, doesn't save it because 2 HP Ices killed it, and it was a +3, it was burnt, so it was still a +1, neutral, whatever. Outrage crit did 80% to a Rotom Wash. 80% was a crit. This is why Flygon is the trash mon and doesn't deserve to be in the Pokédex. And obviously, Tailwind Whimsicott. So, went to Whimsicott, got the Tailwind up, sacked it off, allowed the Necrozma to try and outspeed the Dojo. Didn't, because obviously it's a Dojo, it's a freaking fast mon. Necrozma isn't. Gets the Iron Defense, gets the Carmines, blah 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 blah. Sets up, stored powered that, crit, end of story. Latios, Energy Ball. The Energy Ball did nothing. The Flygon was a useless set because it's a Flygon, so no one should ever use it because it's a trash mon. So yeah, MVP in that game was definitely this Tyranitar, getting a 3 kills there. So let's move on to game number 7, which involves the Sinnoh Starlets versus the Boston Cyndaquils. And the Sinnoh Starlets are rocking Araquanid, Nidoking, Hooper Unbound, Mega Gardevoir, Mamoswine and Mimikyu, whereas the Boston Cyndaquils are rocking Kartana, Landorus Firion, Tapu Fini, Diggersby, Incineroar, and Mega Gallade. So it's Mega Guard v Mega Gallade. The Megas. Obvious sets are probably going to be webs on that Araquanid, a bulky Tapu Fini, probably rocks on that Landorus, and judging by matchups, Kartana beats most of this team besides the Nidoking. Landorus puts in work minus the Mamoswine. Mamoswine actually puts in work against the team. If this Mamoswine can get rid of the... I mean, it doesn't. I tell a lie because it's got Gallade, Fini, and Kartana to deal with that Mamoswine, so that was a lie. But his heavy hitters, minus the Gallade. Mimikyu is a good bring, minus the Gallade. And Gallade, the Incineroar with Dark type moves, and the Kartana with... Kartana can potentially sweep. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If the Araquanid and Nidoking are down, Kartana can definitely sweep. So let's begin this game. Out comes Mamoswine versus the Landorus. So gets a double Intimidate drop off on this Mamoswine, giving it -2. Goes for the Stealth Rocks and goes straight into his Nidoking. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp. So this Boston Syndicate wants to whittle down that Mamoswine for days, burning it and -2 attack drop. So out comes this Nidoking as it goes for the Ice Beam. The Yachi Berry does not save that Landorus because it's a Life Orb, Sheer Force boosted Ice Beam. Nothing is living that hit any day of the week, even a Landorus, even if you're a bulky Landorus. You're not living that. Nidoking can put in the finest of work. So then Sludge Wave puts in the work again by Okoing his Tapu Fini. So Nidoking is putting in the absolute finest of work right now. Okoing 2 of his mons straight away. Out comes the Megalade. The Sinnoh switch out into his Mamoswine as it goes for the Earthquake. And then goes out into his Kartana, predicting the ground type move. I would imagine, yep. Ice Shard doesn't do enough, but Kartana comes in, Smart Strikes, Okos his Mamoswine, goes for Beast Boost. Out comes 3 Spoopy 5U, switches out into his Incineroar, getting the attack drop as it goes for the Shadow Snake. Reveals the Rocky Helmet on the Incineroar. Out comes the Araquanid, goes for Fire Punch, does nothing because of Water Bubble. Out comes Kartana, goes for the Sticky Webs, so late game webs can put in work against the Boston Cyndaquils. Goes for knockoff, really the Mystic Water. Liquidation, Okos is Kartana. Out comes the Mega Gallade. -1 speed. Earthquake, starts feeds the Araquanid. Stacks off the Araquanid. Goes down to his Mega Gardevoir. With the rocks up, Hyper Voice just sweeps the rest of this team. With those webs up, Hyper Voice, goodbye. Out comes Diggersby. Hyper Voice, goodbye. And the Mega Gallade, Hyper Voice, goodbye. So, Webs, Mega Gardevoir, put in the finest of work that game. So yeah, that was the definitely MVP, was that Gardevoir with the sweep at the end, but with a little help from Araquanid there, a little help from Araquanid, helped Rule 34, the Mega Gardevoir, put in the finest of work. Obviously, Reb's Mystic Water, he sacked off that Araquanid versus the was it Diggersby? Or it was Gallade, wasn't it? It was Gallade. It was Gallade. Sacked off against the Gallade, so he can freely switch in his Mega Gardevoir at full health, so it would threaten the Gallade out. And because obviously, why would a Mega Gallade stay in a Mega Gardevoir? Gallade switches out because of the webs. Mega Gardevoir can just sweep the rest of the team with Hyper Voices. And yeah, Nidoking also put in the work, okaying that Landorus even with the Yachi Berry, and Tapu Fini with that Sludge Wave stabs Life Orb boosted Cheer Force Sludge Wave from a Nidoking. Not if you're weak to it, you're not living that. You're just not. Nidoking's a monster. Mamoswine also got the rocks up. Don't know how crucial those rocks were in that game, unless he had sashes on any of his mons. I don't think he did, so wasn't very useful. Obviously, the Incineroar, that double Intimidate, burn, trying to burn that Mamoswine to make his attack absolutely redundant, was very interesting to say the least. Megalade got a kill, as you do. Yachi Berry, as I said before, did not help that Landorus live that Ice Beam from that Nidoking. And the Smart Strike knockoff from that Kartana. Probably the best mon on Dylan's team there with the Kartana, picking up a kill. And putting in the work against the Sinnoh Starlets, especially against the Mamoswine. So, yeah, that was the penultimate game of this week number 3. As we move on to the last game of week 3, which involves the Power Squad, who this week were coached by Tony, and the Hungry Big Boys, coached by Bidoof. And as you can see, Hungry Bidoof has brought, I think, the same team as last week, with Cloyster, Zapdos, Zorora, both Thunderuses, and Galvantula, whereas the Power Squad, I do believe, have brought the same squad again. I want to say, because Scolipede, Mega Slowbro, Snorlax, Togekiss, Mew, and Umbreon are back once again, so I think these are the same teams as last time. Obviously, Mono Electric plus Cloyster. Very electric week, to be honest, with Slowbro and Togekiss. Obviously, Bug Buzz from that Galvantula. Galvantula can put away against his team, pretty much. Minus the Scolipede and the Snorlax. But, obviously, the Thunderuses get Focus Miss. Zorora gets close combat. Cloyster can easily Icicle Spear this Scolipede. So, I don't know. I'm saying this now, but this game seems pretty even. But any tactic can happen in PIDA. Anything can happen in PIDA. So out comes Zorora versus the Scolipede. So you switch out straight to his Zapdos as the Scolipede goes to Protect. Getting those speed boosts up as Scolipede goes for Toxic Spikes. Heat Wave released by the Zapdos, does solid 60%. Gets that speed boost off, go to Protect. And then the Thunderbolt. Gets that health back, gets the speed boost, goes for Substitute. Goes for the Thunderbolt, breaks the sub, gets the speed boost, goes to Protect, whatnot, blah 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 blah. Gets the max speed, I do believe. The Scolipede does. Goes to max speed, and then gets that Baton Pass out straight into this Umbreon. It goes for the Heat Wave against his Umbreon, who's at max speed. Goes for Mean Look against his Zapdos to stop this thing going in. Goes for Z Celebrate as his Zapdos goes for the Thunderbolt. Gets down to 20%. As Umbreon then goes for Baton Pass, out comes the Snorlax. There goes the Thunderbolt on the Snorlax. Out comes Aurora. Gets the Poison. Belly Drum on the Snorlax. So this Snorlax is set up to +4 speed, +4 attack, +1 defense, +1 special attack, +1 special defense, and has a Figgy Berry up to max health. And this Aurora is out and goes for the close combat this turn. Does solid 48%. As this Snorlax goes for Frustration, kills his Aurora. Out comes Thunderous. Goes for Defog, which I thought was an interesting play to get rid of the Toxic Spikes. I found that was I don't know why he did that. Obviously this thing, it doesn't outspeed, so he just went for a move. I get you now. I was going to say, he outspeed, but this Thunderous has Prankster. So, maybe if he paralyzed it, if he Thunder Waved it, it could have got power, could have done something. Possibly. Who knows? But, out comes the Galvantula. He goes to the Recycle on the Figgy Berry. Gets up to max health as he goes for Sticky Webs. I'm confused. Why would you go for Sticky Webs? Maybe if he believes that he can kill the Snorlax, and then Sticky Webs will help late game, so he won't be able to do it again with the Scolipede. So, it's a thing. Goes for the Frustration, lives on the Focus Sash. Goes for the Thunder, does 21%. Doesn't get the Paralysis. Go to Recycle again as it goes for Thunder again. 20%. Figgy Berry comes off. Back up to full. Frustration. Goodbye, Galvantula. Out comes Cloyster, who is sashed. Goes for Brick Break. Goes down to Sash. Goes for the Shell Smash. Gets to +2/+2/+2. Goes for Icicle Spear. Gets a crit. 12%. 12%. 12%. 12%. Lives. Goes for Frustration. If the thing got 2 crits, it would have been clutch, but it doesn't because that's the Thunderous. Frustration outspeeds, kills the Thunderous. Out comes the Zapdos. Frustration, out goes the Zapdos, and down goes the Snorlax Sweep with the Omni Boosting Scolipede, Umbreon, whatever. Plus, we're staying up. So, obviously, Baton Pass is a very good thing in this league. Z Celebrate, broken, busted, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have a discussion about broken stuff because I've let all rules 1 wild for Season 1 to try and keep it as creative as possible. But if everyone keeps just abusing Baton Pass and abusing Z Celebrate, we may have to, in Season 2, ban that. So, hey, when it comes to near the end of the season, we're going to open a discussion where people can leave suggestions of rule changes or whatever for PIDA Season 2. All the top suggestions will go through to the board, who will decide which rules will be passed, which ones will be banned and whatnot and all this stuff. For Season 2 will be bigger and better than ever, hopefully. So, if you're watching this and interested in joining PIDA for Season 2, I know it's very early because PIDA Season 2 is going to start in like February or something, but if you are interested, let me know in the description down below, and I will hook you up to join the server, and you can follow the games live, and when applications open, I think it's going to open in January at some stage for Season 2, you can sign up and be part of Division Hoenn or Division Johto. Johto? Sinnoh, depending on how many people we get interested. Now, end of the show. Look at this lovely, lovely table. As you can see, we have 3 coaches who are currently undefeated. We have the Black Sea Curians coached by Zombie. We have the Sinnoh Stars coached by the Blind Messiah. And we have the Pura Pidgeots coached by JJ. Now, and the Black Sea Curians and the Sinnoh Stars are tied for first place with the same amount of knockouts, same amount of feints with 18-6. And we also have 3 coaches who are yet to win a game with the Green and Gozlords at 0-6, the Calgary V Creator at 0-8, and the pesky Skitty Osk to Garchomps 0-12, who unfortunately did pick up the forfeit this week. So, yeah. And Power Squad with that 6-0 sweep have just creeped into the top to the playoff spots to work out who's going to be champion of Division Kanto for Season 1. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, it's still over an hour long when we had a game less. So hope you guys have enjoyed. Anything you want improved about this weekly show, let me know also in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next week's show. Bye!